Hello, hello.
Hello?
Howdy.
Howdy, howdy.
Yeah, how you doing today? Morning. It's quite
It
late
is
here
morning.
and it's quite early there.
7:30 where I live right now. So,
And
so I just had breakfast.
10:30 here. So I'll do my best to not yawn and yeah, there's some pretty good games lined up. Although I did give us the 3 stack instead of the 4 stack and shied away from doing all 4 games at once. Because we've got one of the matches has already been decided. Because Wirox and Juiceboxy both had kind of like a weird rivalry show match slash buy slash Juice is already in the third round, so we'll be able to see some more liner action later. But the matches I thought we would cover tonight, Danoobs versus Kitty Kaka, which was kind of the up and comer that we saw from kind of come out of nowhere and reach the top of the ladder. And then also I wanted to check out the 2 Mango games. Specifically, we have Poncho Mango versus AWX Angel, and we've got Mushy Mango versus the Magmar bot. So a couple things here, and I thought we would, yeah, start right from the top. Uh, a Ragnora versus Riva. So Riva will be able to make her ranged minions to snipe whatever eggs come out, and Blood Tear is quite good at sniping right back.
It's a little bit of a toolbox deck from Kitakaka here. We see a lot of things like Twilight Fox and Death Strike Seals and some Arcanist synergy. Also we see Tagon as well.
Yep, take on quite
Whereas
nice.
from whereas from the news we see a pretty standard, so to speak, Ragnar deck.
Yeah, a lot of the surprise burst damage comes out of the Wild Inceptor plus Greater Fortitude combo you get out of your BBS, which is like 10 damage out of nowhere. Really nice.
Also chooses to play the Death Spikes combo, which I also was very fond of. Back when Spikes was
When it
3
actually
mana and
burned.
yeah,
It's quite
yeah.
a hefty draw spell these days, and it doesn't burn away your own artifacts for what that's worth, but we don't see any artifacts in the Danoobs lists.
We do see 2 Reliquarians, so there might be some
Hmm.
artifact coming
Yeah.
on.
The Reliquarian artifact in Magmar might be the best because it pumps your whole team when it procs. Really nice.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And then the backstab kit we have with Kitty Kaka is pretty nice because the Twilight Fox will pull something right behind it, and then you get a free shank. Pretty tricky. And then the Grincher, who knows what that's gonna get?
That's an opening gambit, isn't it? It's not a dying wish.
Yeah, so it's gonna immediately proc and hand off something with a small discount.
An old streamer card. There was this, I think it was called like Granger X or something, and he used to do content, so he got a streamer card.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen some Grincher stuff. He hasn't touched Duelyst recently from the looks of it, from what I've seen. But his card in Duelyst is pretty sick. You see it in a couple different kinds of lists. Like I've seen it with Vanar Artifact or even Abyssian. But here it is in Songhai. Who knows what it'll pull out? It might not even make the deck, but it might throw the opponent off because it's a lot of potential. With that said, do you want to fly into our first game of the night slash morning slash wherever you're from?
I'm ready.
Okay. Yeah, let's just hit this top to bottom, left to right, and I'm gonna paste it in 3, 2, 1, paste. Alright, we are here with Danoobs versus Kitty Kaka in the round of 16. Single elimination, best of 3.
Kitakaka flexing here, being on the phone for this game.
Yeah, he's not even getting out of bed to play this tournament.
Both players having a rather good hand here. The noobs in particular. But chooses to hold on to the Reliquarian in his opening hand, which I'm not sure if I would do if I were him.
I guess he's gonna build his whole game plan around that, try to get some huge value off this opening gambit. Although can't be played for so long. He's looking to ramp it out quickly with Flash. But the Twilight Fox is already down, here to snatch something. And we've already got the backstab mask, so we got some power from Kitikaka.
So he can pretty much play out his entire hand here. Dinoob's saved from the Reliquarian. And he can force a pretty strong tempo play if he chooses to flash the Raptor, greater fortitude to Silithar. But now he's just probably going to flash the Lava Slash.
Yep. That's a good way to answer the Twilight Fox. Which means he probably would like to cycle this Reliquarian away, but still has it in hand. It's going to be the thing.
Yeah, if he uses a flash this turn, Reliquarian is a long way out.
Yeah, that's true. Erratic Raptor is one of the best to have with the Reliquarian, though, since it's kind of a low value but high stats.
Chooses to take a more passive turn, but this gives him three options next turn. He can either Lava Slasher next turn, he can test Spikes, or he can maybe do a Reliquarian.
Yeah, it all depends on how much mana he can snatch. Kitikaka's not going to have much for blocking options, probably isn't going to want to do any of that. The second Fox doesn't do anything, so it's kind of unfortunate to have in the hand, but the Battle Pando is pretty nice. It can even be activated.
He could reactivate the Battle Pando and even Gotetsu it.
So, if you reactivate a Battle Pando and clash it into the Raptor, does that take care of the egg?
No.
Oh, okay,
It
it's
gives
not a
it,
clearing trade.
Wait, it does transform.
Yeah.
I'm not certain now. I know with young Silithar it won't, or with things that is like 2/2, then it will not deal with the egg. But with the Raptor, I'm not certain.
Yeah. Discoverable, am I right?
But you could juxtaposition. Oh, that's exactly what it's going to do.
Yep. Immediately just takes it. This is a very good target to backstab. Maybe he just wants to keep the Twilight Fox as insurance so he can keep the combo going and then it doesn't just get stopped to a single Lava Slash.
So from the noob's perspective right now, this Spikes is looking pretty strong because he's able to ping off the mask.
Yep.
But by doing so, he will leave the Battle Pando up and alive.
Yeah. Which isn't great. But it's probably the thing to do, because you don't want Grieva to get the mana with the Panda. So if you just take both of these top and bottom mana springs, jump to 6. Desi, Spikes, you can even...
Another line of play would be to Lava Slash from the Panda and then create an egg. Or
well, that's pretty good.
Try to replace your Reliquarian, hope you can find something tempo strong, but he goes for the...
Yep.
This is Spike play.
Which is pretty strong, because we can see here, with the Spikes, it procs 3 times. Very, very convenient. Just immediately shreds all the artifacts. Definitely worth. It's going to have to burn a card, but won't really mind, because some pretty strong follow-up options.
So Kitikaka can do a lot of good things here with his Battle Panda. He can trade it into the noobs, reactivate it, and send it down for the Desmos. He may even Gotatsu it before doing it, which means it deals 3 times of war damage.
Yeah.
Which means the young Silithar will transform into an egg, and he can trade it to it for free.
Yeah, complete board wipe.
Now, there are no Mistrian seals in Hidekaka's deck, which makes setting up backstab with Scroll Bandit harder.
Yeah, there's only the single Sparrowhawk to maybe hand one out. But with so few Arcanists, it probably wouldn't even be in the deck. Okay, instead opts to take some damage on the Twilight Fox and does some pretty good work with reactivating the Scroll Bandit.
Well, the noobs saved the Flash Mechantor combo for this turn, so I think he's probably just going to unleash it now.
Pretty good turn for it too, because the BBS is on a 1-turn cooldown.
Yep, as it stands right now, Kirikaka does not have a clean and mana-effective answer to an egg. He's gonna either have to Lightbender or Phoenix Fire it.
Yeah, and I guess the other play is Rag can take 2 steps down, just hit the Twilight Fox, and then use a Lava Slasher. Okay, we're kind of seeing that.
He's going for the Lava Lance play here.
Yeah.
But choose to kill the...
Just ignores the panda.
There's also a slight sequencing, because if he would have chose Lava Flash first, it wouldn't have killed the egg. So it's a slight... Which the noobs is recognizing here with the soups.
Yeah, that could be a big deal, not having a Ripper. Gotta make sure to take care of the panda first.
Kirikaka has a much easier play. He can play a fox and a panda.
Two drops would be pretty good. Just dropping a single tag on makes it vulnerable to... Well, there's no natural selection in the opponent's deck.
But you want it to be juicier, right? He's got Lava Lance, a Cantor. It's very easy to remove.
Yep. For instance, War Beast immediately shows up.
And the noobs draws all 3 of his Mechantors this game.
Yeah. That's how you take tournaments. You just keep playing your Mechantors. Works every time. There's quite a few Phoenix Fires thanks to Lantern Fox. And this Geomancer can just hand off even more.
Yeah, I doubt if you're Kirikaka that you actually want to trade into the Mechantor.
Yeah, and then you'd be down to 11. Tagon is here to freeze the board. It turns out EMP turns off the freeze, similar to how it would turn off a stun. Had that interaction earlier today. Okay, and the Heartseeker in the corner to finish it up. Perfect finisher from Cantor.
If I were the noobs, I would try to replace for a flash here.
Yeah, to flash a Wild Inceptor lets you take or get a lot of damage out. Just the raw Mechantor, pretty solid. Thunder Bomb just in time. And then Kirikaka's probably going to want to put maybe a Bakizori just to block.
I think you're playing the Geomancer here. I think you want to finish off.
Yeah.
You already have 2 Phoenix Fires, so you push.
Yeah, because the Phoenix Fires in hand is already 9 damage, and then the BBS finishes the game.
And you have no more Mechantors to draw here if you're the noobs.
Yeah.
Kirikaka has 12 points of damage next turn.
And the 10 damage burst strat is available, but it is just not enough. So Macander's here to try to do some
They
cleanup.
lethal few encounters. I must have been miscounting. Could have sworn he used all three.
He's definitely got the third one out now.
Well, it makes little difference, for Kirikaka has all the Phoenix Fires in the world.
Yeah. Doesn't matter where you are, how many provokes are on you. If you've got the mana, you just turn it into direct damage. And
Noob's probably wondering
yeah.
if he should approach there, but he had no need to. 11 damage next turn, but Kirikaka had 12.
Woo! And the barrage. Funny thing about Pyromancer or Geomancer, the buff remains. Your BBS is permanently swapped even after you kill it. So Kirikaka able to take the first game against the noobs. Pretty solid.
So the noobs have some thinking to do heading into game 2. Should he try to put in his Earthspheres? I also think that the noobs was mistaken in holding on to his Reliquarian for so long.
Yeah, that never hit. Okay, Stoic Rooster, are you ready for game number 2?
I am.
Let's jump into it in 3, 2, 1, going in. Alright, Kirikaka is up 1. The noobs is going to need to win 2 in a row to keep himself from being eliminated. And with this quality of a hand, he might be able to crunch it out. This is really nice. I just love seeing Metallurgists early.
The noobs is probably in a position where he wants to see either a Flash or a Lava Slasher. Whereas Kirikaka probably is rather content with his hand. Maybe he wants to replace the Twilight Fox for now.
Yeah, or replace something else to try to get the Mask of Shadows for the backstab to go with the Fox, but keeps it all.
Curious from the noobs to replace the Mechanical War Beast there.
Yeah, I guess he just knows that he'll draw 3 anyway. He just keeps running into them. Fishing for more early game plays. Now with 2 sets of Greater Fortitude, could make this Golem Metallurgist into something huge. Which isn't that great with a Progenitor, because you want to go wide. So Decimus is a nice one to copy. The 1/1 range Heart Sister is gonna be sniping eggs. So it eats a Lavalance.
Yeah, chooses to use Love Lance on a Heartseeker, which means he will not have one available when Battle Panda drops.
Yeah.
Or if Kirikaka just uses to put Geomancer now.
The noob's gonna be happy with his draw though. Found a Rage Binder, which is going to have a double discount. Thanks to these Metallurgists.
Well, he's going to run low on cards here because
Yeah.
he's not Stormborn.
The Flash in that case probably needs to go. Geomancer's out, so no more Hearth Sisters. Or the one
Yeah, I
range.
think it's time to pitch the Flash. Maybe even the Decimus here.
Maybe, because there's no threat of an artifact right now. And a Flash could let you high roll into some sort of bigger turn, but replacing it kind of gives you the better hand consistency overall.
Seems like the noobs is going to trade into the Geomancer and the a Metallurgist, which I can imagine Kirikaka is quite happy with. Meaning his Geomancer deals 8 points of damage.
Yep. Probably wants to put the Rage Binder down to heal some of that up. The real question is, Flash Reincarnation Decimus, it'll just die immediately to a Phoenix Fire. So that surely can't be it, but there's no replaces. And just keeps everything. Okay.
Yeah, now Kitikaka is the one who's gonna have to spend his hand to remove the noob's threat. But he does have a lantern box, which allows for some refill.
So this is not the target that Kitikaka wanted to swap in. If it was the Rage Binder or the egg, the Rip would be able to be destroyed. Instead, Rag is now in it.
Because if he chooses to use a juxtaposition, he's down to 3 cards. So his next turn is very so-and-so.
Yeah, when your hand starts getting that low, you generally want to sandbag and have the cards that you just want to replace.
The noobs similarly have some decisions to make in the upcoming turn. As he has an argument for replacing the Decimus because he's probably going to play Lava Slash next turn and wipe Kitikaka's board.
Yep. And there's no spikes to combo with immediately, so there it goes, becomes an Erratic Raptor.
One card which I would have liked to see in either of these player stacks is Spelljam, which is a card that none of them play. The noobs plays 3 spikes, and Kitikaka runs Wildfire Tenketsu and Gringer and some other types of draw.
Yeah, this was before the era of Rift Beast, so Spelljammer was generally all the jam.
Like, I'm not even sure in the tournament perspective that Rift Walker or Rift Beast is that strong, because you're looking at a 2-turn investment for 3 mana. Like, I'm genuinely wondering if it's even stronger than...
Like a Sojourner is a comparison? Kind of similar?
Like, if you look at Rift Walker or Rift Beast, is it stronger than Replicant, which draws you the card instantly?
Kitikaka getting the full surround this time. The noobs has the death grip.
Yeah, and this time around, Kitikaka doesn't seem to have a good out. No, I think that game 2 will be awarded to Kitikaka.
Yeah, because an attack, and then the Phoenix Fire only does 5 damage, and then BBS does another 3, 8, and then Rag has 1 hit point. That's not enough. You might as well do it for the showmanship points, right? Or just tap the concede button. Well played for the noobs.
You would Phoenix Fire yourself 2 times
Yeah.
in the face, which
Yeah.
is a little way of eliminate gates.
Yeah, that'd look pretty good. Because the Lightbender, it showed up way too late. The Panda can't be activated immediately. It would be incredible if it could be, but there's no inner focus. Kitikaka could also be sizing up his opponent and thinking about what his sideboard options are going to be for game 3. Lightbender does get 1 kill and could body block with the Panda.
But he just trades off 2-4 with a 4-1
Yeah.
and 4-5 and kills. Or plays the Reliquary.
Oh, here we go. Style points.
So he had more than one lethal. I'm not sure if I agree with him revealing that he was maining on the relic variant, that was correct.
Yeah, because he was holding on to it pretty much all of the previous game, so it's definitely really high on his game plan. And now Kitty's going to be expecting that going in, so anything that is a huge attack minion is going to be a high target. Okay, these two have tied it up. Ready to go into the decider.
Yes.
Going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Now Kaka is player one.
Yep.
Has the optimal turn one Songhai.
Woo.
With the scroll back.
With 7 Songhai banners. Pretty impressive. What a spammer.
How do you get that much?
You play a lot of Songhai and you can just play it on your phone. Although Kitty Kaka, in serious mode now, hops to the PC.
I don't even think I had 7 Songhai ribbons even in old Duelyst.
Well, I guess maybe playing on your phone is a big game changer because they can be jamming it all the time everywhere.
But you could play on your phone at the end of Duelyst as well, because
Oh yeah?
there wasn't this Chrome app, I think, on Android at least, that could allow you to
Oh wow. I had no idea.
play on. It wasn't that great, but it worked.
Pretty nice stuff here. Manages to snag a Lava Lance, which is just a 1 damage deal 2.
And the noob's finding himself in the turn 1 Songhai treatment.
Yeah.
Put him on the back foot for the remainder of the game if he's not lucky.
I was kind of...
Flash Lava Slasher on the tile directly in front of
Yeah.
Reba and kill a 1-3 and then play a Silithar.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering why Kitty Kaka didn't drop the Scroll Bandit diagonally to make a play for the mana tile, but now Kitty Kaka is so set up for the next turn, could potentially get all of them and jump to 7 mana. Options for Noob's probably just gonna want to drop his 2 drops. That's all he's got, really. Flashing out a Lava Slasher is a way to take out a Lantern Fox, or as you're saying, the Bandit. Don't want the Bandit to be generating more spells, but instead... Okay, yeah, the Silithar's out too.
He also could have flashed the Silithar, which would have allowed the Lava Slasher to be his 4-6.
Yeah, and since the Silithar has Rebirth, it's not that big of a deal.
So he may Thunderbomb the Silithar, and then he can Phoenix Fire the Lava Slasher.
Yeah. Take care of
both
everything.
fast. He can also play a Heartseeker.
Seems pretty solid. This Mask of Shadows doesn't do a whole lot now, but as soon as Fox shows up, it's going to be really nice. Probably doesn't even move. Okay, never mind. They're moving. Also, not what I would have expected. I really thought the Thunder Bomb was coming down too.
Yeah, chooses to leave the Lava Slasher up when there really was no need to. The Noobs gets himself another Lava Slasher.
Yep. really nice replace. Probably wants to take care of the Scroll Bandit before it generates more value. Or
Yeah,
the Fox. Or you can slash that.
because Kitty doesn't play Killing Edge, you're not that hard pressed to remove the Heartseeker.
Right.
So I think what you could do here is just tack in the Lantern Fox. Or you can also play the Golem Metallurgist. It's true.
Yeah, because of the discount.
I think you trade into the Lantern Fox with Face, and then you Lava Slash for the 1/3.
Yep.
But you do not make a trade with a Lava Slasher because you want to keep it alive.
And the Lava Slasher could have also attacked it from behind without the backstab bonus proccing because of how the fight mechanic works and it not being an attack.
Exactly.
But instead opts to put it a little further here and moving Reg to the top. Trades the Fox for a fistful of Phoenix Fire.
Doesn't have an all too good play here. He could back off and play back Zori. Instead decides to
Just gonna
push for damage.
Yeah. Which is pretty fair, because a 7 damage slash is pretty real. 2 more of those will close the game, pretty much.
The Noobs doesn't find his Tectonic Spikes.
Yep, that would have refilled his hand and let him go off to the races. And find a combo piece for this Wild Inceptor that's just chilling in the hand. It's probably going to be used at some point to allow the Erratic Raptor to get another hit, but I guess we'll see.
I think you have to run 2 to the left here and just body block with a Erratic Raptor here.
Yeah.
Decides to
Oh.
play into Thunderbomb a little bit.
Yeah. The single step.
So he can backstab into the 5/5, and then he can,
Thunderbomb, clear both EX.
yeah. Which
Leaves enough mana for Lantern Fox, and then if that hands out 2 more Phoenix Fires, that should just be enough for lethal at some point. Although if the Lantern Fox drops, it's just gonna get Lava Slash and only hand out 1. So let's just kill the Lava Slasher. See Wildfire Tonketsu making an appearance.
So it's entirely possible that Kirikaka was calculating lethal last turn. Because if Lava Slasher stuck, he would have been able to present 4 additional damage there. And with combo, that would have been enough to kill him. There is no way to position this Lava Slasher that makes it so it can't be backstabbed next turn. And unless the Noobs finds himself with Tectonic Spikes,
Maybe throw everything away and use a Wild Inceptor? No, it goes for the slash. Okay, well the Lava Slasher is decent backstab guard. Because it can just take the damage. It's gonna get 1 shot.
also finds the Tectonic Spikes.
Yep. So if Wild Inceptor gets replaced, never mind, just cast it immediately. I was gonna say Decimus plus spikes to shred the artifact. Instead, get some other cool toys. This Macanta Warbeast might be the play.
Yeah, so you could Mecantor and clear the board if you attack into the 2/6.
Yeah, it's not. The Lantern Fox isn't gonna hand off any more Phoenix Fires because Kitty Kaka's hand has been maxed out. Doesn't have any more replace options though.
Oh, I think you have to Mecantor this turn.
Yeah.
Seems like he's also going to choose to clean board.
And this positioning allows him to avoid being backstabbed. Well, at least his general. Of course, Scroll Bandit could just be reactivated. Kitty Kaka's definitely looking for lethal now, though.
There we see the Grincher
Yeah.
ready to hand off a random artifact.
It can't be good. Like, what? Are you gonna find Blast, or Ranged, or Celerity? Turn an enemy into ice?
I think the Celerity one is lethal, isn't it? How much is that again?
I think it costs 3, and then you get a 2 discount. So it would be 1. Maybe 3 is too cheap. Wildfire Tonkatsu going for any face damage. So no Earth Spheres at all. I was really expecting that versus a Songhai.
Yeah, and his options doesn't look all too good here.
Yeah.
He's not able to really do anything with this Mecantor.
This positioning is too good. The diagonal is just, it can't be dealt with. You can only kill, I guess, 2 minions, and then take a single point of damage on your Mercantor in the process.
Yeah, plays the egg, but of course it's very easy to get rid of. And Kitty Kaka has lead plus it stands, as he can shoot for 1 damage with a Heartseeker and
8 gates. Phoenix Fire for 5. Range minion for the 6th. Kitty Kaka. Shredding Danoobs like he's shredding the ladder. Well played, well played. Kitty Kaka winning 2-0.
Yeah, I think that the noob's last game, not being able to clean up the artifacts, what was costing the game. And he wasn't able to find his tectonic spikes when he needed them. And Kitty Kaka was just able to reap in the rewards from his free attacks.
Yeah. So well played to him. We'll be seeing more of that Riva in the round of 8. But in the meanwhile, let's hop over to our second match. Poncho Mango versus AWX Angel. Poncho coming in with Brome, and AWX has got 2 Saurian Finalities in a Smashy Voth deck. And as for what Brome is doing, Poncho is pulling out the Windclef Protector and the Alarmist. And also Strategos.
It's a combo that I know that he likes to play.
Yeah, he streamed it and made some videos on it. Or I don't know if he streamed it, but he definitely did some YouTube stuff on how to Brome. Pretty interesting style.
One notable omission from Poncho's deck is there's no Arclight Sentinels in this deck.
Yeah. So not going to be able to do any 3-mana plays to shift around those stats. Instead relying on 1 power minions and Aurora to get huge.
So it's, in many senses, it's a tempo / swarm bro. but with a different kind of style of playing. But you have the good cards, like you have the Imperial Congregations, and you've got
Got
the
some immos.
one card that I also like is Marching Orders for 2 mana, but he does not play it.
No, instead opting to get a full set of fighting spirits to hand off some stats and get an extra pet. The Trinity Oath is a really good refill. We have 2 Sureforgers that are kind of like the centerpiece of getting huge. Bunch of Litigris as well. And the Jax is here to immediately proc the quest. The Grand Strategos trial will be filled pretty quickly with that. And on the other side, we see a lot of Golem stuff going on. We even have a Golem Vanquisher. And the full set of stuff there. Quite a bit of removal. Just the 1 EMP though. 2 Armada. Might be able to get blasting with those.
Yeah, Armada is a really nice card, which I think is a very strong inclusion in this deck. The Golem Vanquisher, I'm not sure if that was thrown in there for the fun of it. But I certainly would have liked seeing a third finality, or maybe a second EP instead of a Vanquisher.
Maybe like a single Fractal Refraction to go off with Armada or something. I guess I would need more targets to really be a consideration. Drogon might be funny with.
Also runs Maw in this deck, which is not a card you see too often.
Yeah, Maw usually only see it with Wanderer or in the Gauntlet. To see it in a 40 list would be pretty interesting. Just against those minion spams.
Alright, you can use Maw quite well because you can boost it to 3/3.
Yeah, so it makes a bit of sense there. It's also really cheap. And 3 Earth Spheres. Let's see if he actually runs them. Are you ready to jump into game number 1 of Poncho Mango versus AWX Angel?
I am.
Cool, cool. Let's fly into it in 3, 2, 1, pastes. Alright, so Poncho Mango with his DGG Open number 1 crown has got a couple cats in hand and a very nice removal spell.
I think you go Line Termon, but I don't think you hold on to the second one because you want to find your Surge Forgers and your Congregations and so on.
Yeah. Kind of a replaceable card after the first one. Having 1 is nice because it guarantees you can snatch any mana, but having more is just gratuitous, and they come down too late at that point.
For AWX Angel, I would start looking for my Plasma Storms and natural selections and rebukes.
Yep, Plasma Storm is going to be absolutely an MVP here. Until they start getting too huge, and then Rebuke becomes what you need. Immediately finds a natural selection, just does it. Turn 1 nat select.
Probably just drops down the Aurora here defensively and signaling to AWX, do you have the second nat select?
Okay, puts it right down to steal the mana. And the question is asked. I don't know if AWX Angel wants to go digging for it. Another option is Flash. Yeah, exactly. Take care of this thing before it gets huge.
That's not to do that. Rather just drops the 3-drop. Which I'm not too sure about is the correct play.
Yeah, because what gets flashed and what kind of turn does that look like? Maybe wanting to flash an EMP later or an Armada? That'd be pretty hype. Usually it's a Mecanter, but it's probably going to get replaced at this rate.
So his AWX Angel has no draw in his deck. So if he goes minus a card, it's permanent.
Yeah, no Spelljammers, no Sojourners. Can kind of get an extra turn off the Saurian finale, and that's about it.
Yeah, when I play Saurian Finality, I don't mind having at least two jammers in your deck. It's a nice
Yeah.
on-curve play for 4. Akbar doesn't have good on-curve 4
Yeah,
drops.
it keeps it going. You can throw it a rebuke and it doesn't kill itself. It's good. Does die to plasma storms, but that can be to your advantage too.
So speaking of
Speaking
Plasma
of
Storm,
plasma storm, Silverguard Knights are really annoying. Uh, yeah, AA opting to just drop down the one lava slasher and maybe storm next turn once more stuff is out.
and we see Pancho Mango here keep holding on to his Warblade, even though he doesn't find any other golems.
Yeah, this is a really good card if you can get it to proc. Currently, it's just a 1/4 with no text, so that is not worth casting. Might as well just get a pet.
And right now, Pancho Mango probably wishes he has that Arclight. He had that Arclight Sentinel for that golem.
Yep, it would be the perfect response, but none in his list. They've all been cut for these spells. And doesn't have enough mana to drop a creature and then immediately holy immo it. So it's a backline lion. And a pet. A fog is a decent pet because it finds another pet.
Yeah, I think I'd play the fog here. It
Yeah.
gives you draw. Or at least refill.
Yeah, generally you end up replacing what it hands you, but sometimes you can get something that's really nice and generally really cheap.
Keeps the conscript around to play around natural select. But Plasma Storm wipes board.
Yep, incredible, and he's got another one in the pocket. So Poncho Mango's gonna have to be careful as he builds up his board. Imperial Congregation really helps to push things out of range, but they need to have at least 2 strength initially, which this Warblade does not. Replaces, doesn't find a golem, but Sureforger's nice. Not what he needs now, though.
He could play his hand, or at least his Search Forger and his Warblade into a PBS. He's not getting the opening, we're not getting the bond bonus, but it does create a 4/4 Search Forger, 2/5 Golem, and a 2/3 with Provoke.
That's probably better than taking 2 steps up, throwing down a BBS, and then immediately holy ammoing it, and then just passing with mana up.
Yeah, Puncher needs to be worried about Cantors as well, of course.
Oh, he's doing the
But
thing I just said. Well, I guess that allows him to bide his time. Maybe he'll find some golems to really pop off.
I wouldn't have minded actually creating the bigger minions. You have the congregation to pop up with that, but he might have been worried about Mechanic or Warbeast from AWX here.
Yeah, because that pushes him out of range of Plasma Storm, but then he dies to the Boom Booms.
Also chooses not to trade here, Poncho, which would have put AWX to 6 health.
6. Looking to only clash in with minions and keep his health advantage.
AWX can play Lava Slasher and then flash a range fighter. He could also have put Brome in a prison if he would have stayed 2 up.
Yeah, full surround. And then Brom,
Range fighter.
yeah. Because now Poncho Mango has the option of falling back.
I don't think he wants to fall back because you're playing against the finality deck.
Right.
So you don't want to give him the option to just heal for 10. We also see Poncho replacing his golem here, but finds a golem.
Yeah, finally finds it. Oh no. Didn't want to
But his
replace the
option-
spell.
He can still create a 4/7 Um, Silverguard, which will live through both Plasma and Rebuke.
Yep. Keeps him safe from these minions.
They're not a really good position because a Lava Slasher threatens many things.
Okay, probably gonna do Sureforger into Silverguard then. Keep his Empyrean to hopefully buff them both, plus something else. Maybe debating on dropping a Metallurgist. Nah, it's definitely the Knight.
Oh, you always play the
Yeah.
Escapade. Well, there he finds his Rebuke, which is good enough to clean board.
Yep. It'll heal up his range biter in a way, in that it turns into an egg, and then Lava Slasher can just finish off the Silverguard.
It's a Plasma, though. Value in keeping the Flasher around, chooses to trade 4 face.
Huh. Yeah, well, the Rebuke's gonna be good whenever it comes down, even if Poncho Mango manages to get a bunch of buffs.
He finds his Fire Blazer, so to speak.
Huh.
Doesn't find the better thing.
Yeah, generally you
Um,
want to find the small dudes that pull these out.
But he doesn't have a terrible play here, Poncho, because he can play out Aurora into BBS into
Mmm.
Imperial Congregation.
Yeah. This board's suddenly huge.
And even if he does Rebuke, it's not enough to kill all things.
Yeah, gonna have to take 3 face damage and hit with the Rage Binder. It's still probably worth it, because the Mecanter doesn't have a good angle.
I'm also wondering if you actually want to hold on to the Drogon here. I feel like you want to find something else, like your 2 Rebukes, your 2 Finales.
Or if you can find the Silhouette Tracer and just teleport in for the kill.
He's playing 3 Drogons, so Poncho also needs to be mindful, as Drogon PBS is 60, but chooses to telegraph it quite visibly.
Here it is.
I would like keep it in hand just as a, like, oh, come and hit the egg, it's fine.
Poncho in a
Oh,
pickle. This is
at
a lot
this
of
point
provoke though, so this is probably too good to replace. Like 3 provoke minions.
Well, I think you're only really getting
Oh
2.
yeah,
because
2. You gotta take
Oh,
care
you
of the
can,
egg.
absolutely. No, you can do it, actually. I was mistaken, because you can BBS here, as it stands.
Ah,
And
yeah. Oh no, he stepped.
maybe he wants to play around the Cantor. A little bit, so that's maybe why he did it.
He's definitely gonna have to play around with Cantor. Yeah, this is pretty good placement.
AWX Angel, of course, does not play the Frenzy artifact, which would have been brutal.
Yeah, just sweep everything. There's a couple cards that still get him out.
And now, Poncho is going into top deck mode.
Yep. And top deck's a 1-drop, which is actually not that bad, because this will cycle, and then you can replace the card that cycles. The pet, basically.
These are also 2 decks, I think, that could use Spelljammer. I don't hate running Spelljammer in Rome.
Maybe they're afraid their opponent will get some value out of it. Because you can see both players are just out of stamina, and they're just scrapping.
The
But-
AWX takes the opportunity to finish off the game. Maw coming to the rescue game 1.
Yeah, We we were kind of wondering about Maw, but hey, it jumped out and managed to take the first game. So AWX Angel getting one over Poncho Mango. Well played, well played. Ready to jump into game number 2.
We can most certainly do that.
Cool, cool. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Paste. Poncho Mango versus AWX Angel. Game number 2. Starting now.
Poncho is immediately in a better step as he finds his Trinity.
Yeah, where was that last game?
AW, AWX Angel also has a lot of options in this terminal play, where
Yep.
he can go Metalist uh, for a turn 2 Lava Slasher.
Yeah. That'll be really strong. Might be able to steal the mana tile. Probably not with this kind of hand that Poncho Mango's starting with, though. Lava Slasher might just eat a Celebrant. We'll see.
Also gets the Golem combo here. So
Yeah. This is the good stuff. Might even want to just do it immediately. Celebrate would be too strong then for Lava Slasher to just kill in one hit.
I think if I were Poncho, I would play the Silverguard Knight or the Aurora here.
Would you put it
Probably the
straight
Silver-
on the Mana Spring?
No,
Okay.
I would put it
Diagonal up.
above me or
Yeah.
diagonally up under me.
Instead, Poncho Mango is playing this really defensively. Making absolutely certain it can't just be Lava Slasher and then hit.
WX can play his Rage Binder and his... Well, I guess he doesn't do that.
Golem could take a diagonal step and then just play the Rage Binder. Seems good. It's not getting any healing value.
No, but I still think you do that here. Like, the tempo is so good. Because next turn you have...
Oh yeah.
well, you don't have a terribly good next turn. I also would not have hated him protecting the Metallurgist, because that's important for your Lava Slash next turn that it sticks.
I like the Rage Binder here because it blocks the mana.
One notable thing about Poncho's list is he does not have any Dispel, so any attack buff that goes to AWX is permanent.
This Voth could get really dangerous, especially with Drogons and such hanging out.
Well, Poncho still has some options here.
Yeah, it finds
he can go-
the Windcliff Alarmist, which is the good half that you want to get.
He also runs, he very cleverly runs 3 Alarmists and 2 Protectors, which is the established way of doing it.
Yeah, 3 and 2 for sure.
Probably would mind seeing a draining wave here, Poncho, to get rid of the Rage Binder. He's gonna be forced to let it stick, I think.
Still hasn't decided what to replace. Most of his turn has been eaten away.
I would probably just play the Alarmist here, or boost the Silverguard to 4/6. If you do boost it to a 4/6, it's enough to kill the Rage Binder.
It's a real consideration. Replaces, finds a second Celebrant, which kind of is okay. It's a lot of mana. And yeah, Rage Binder off the table. Assuming he clicks it before his turn runs out. Okay,
He was probably contemplating it, but the risk was that the egg animation was gonna get him. So
Oh,
he
yeah.
decided to go the safer route.
because he can't click on it until there's an egg, I think. There's some weird stuff there. Clearing the 2/2 is fine.
AWX Angel also finds his his story and finality here, which is the late.
Yeah, first sighting of this. Might just hold on to it and then play it right after an EMP.
Interesting. Oh, this is a good play from AWX. He only leaves one Celeron up, which is tolerable. Poncho Mango could... You could Celebrant into... I think it Metallurgist into Celebrant into Aurora into BBS.
Yeah, that gives him a pretty big board, and that's a lot better than doing something like Celebrant into Trinity Oath, or... I don't know, we'll have to see.
I doubted that he's gonna go Trinity Oath now.
Yeah.
But chooses to move before playing Celebrant, which means taking the mana palette is gonna be a little harder now.
Not going to be able to play everything now. Probably just going to go BBS and one Golem. Or maybe two Golems.
Yeah, it's a matter of, do you play around Rebuke or do you play around Plasma? Hunter decides to play around Plasma by turning his Aurora into a 5/5.
Yeah.
Which is a correct choice, of course.
Yeah, he's correct.
Interesting piece of positioning there. If he would have placed the Metallurgist on top of the Crestfallen, the Crestfallen would not have been able to be killed by the Ragebinder.
Right, because Voth is stuck.
Yeah, but Voth does not have any way to clean off the Aurora, even if he gets out of Provoked Prison.
And the Aurora is going to get pumped up. Another 4 attack, likely, as soon as it's Poncho's turn.
But now he did find a way. He found the...
Ma is here to take another game, maybe.
I see you to kill the Crestfallen. And,
Just to free him up to punch the Celebrant.
But for Poncho's perspective, he was just given a very, very juicy immolation target.
Yeah, they're in perfect formation. They get blasted. Oops. Oh.
Also very intelligently decides to not create a mana tile for AWX Agent to walk onto. Just casually took 11 that turn.
Yeah, because you can cancel your opening gambit, so you can just get a 1/4.
Poncho has the perfect card in hand.
Yes, this is the best final card.
Whereas AWX Angel is looking to be in a little bit of a trickier position.
Yeah, this hand needs an extra turn to really start popping off.
You would like to find a Picanter here for that nice pocket, but
Yeah. Instead,
finds an
defense
Earth
heal.
Healer, will decides to Plasma instead of Rebuking? Or Plasma
Instead of healing?
instead of healing?
Yeah.
Which means Poncho can just kill him with the Aurora.
Oops. Yeah, because Brome BBS hands off 2 damage. This is it.
We also see Power of Aurora, an often overlooked card.
Yeah, this thing, we see it now, it just hits for huge amounts. Poncho Mango tying it up. It is 1-1 apiece between these two players. Wait, not between these two players, between these two players. Do you want to jump into game number 3?
Yes.
Let's go in 3, 2, 1, paste. It is the decider. A winning the coin flip and going first. Poncho Mango finding a bunch of Windcliff Alarmists.
I'm not sure that AWX actually considers going player 1 is a win because he's got a very heavy deck. So I think he probably would like to go player 2.
Yeah, to be able to maybe ramp out more and do higher mana plays. I guess the best player 1 turn he's got is snagging a mana tile and somehow getting a Lava Slasher out, but we're not going to see that because we have a Cryptographer instead. So likely gonna BBS next turn, start pumping up his attack because Poncho has no counter to that.
Turn 1 defensive Surge Forger looks to be the play here from Boncho.
Yeah. Diagonal step into putting it on the top row, pretty safe, and lets him take the mana next turn.
Gambling that AWX Angel does not have Flash Lava Slasher here. Which I probably would have made a more defensive move if I were Poncho.
Yeah, no clean removal.
It's the Rebuke, but I don't think he wants to do it now.
No, because no matter how high this thing scales, the Rebuke is still going to be good. So just eats the mana tile and gets the +1.
So now a whole world of opportunity open
Mm.
up for Poncho here.
Yeah.
He can play
Pump stuff up with the Warblade. The Celebrant can come down. Looks like this Ragebinder is going to die to a gigantic Surge Forger. This Windcliff Protector is gigantic. Homeostatic
6, 7.
Rebuke looking pretty good.
I also think it's gigantic in the sense that the sprite is
Yeah.
slightly oversized.
It's taller. It's like its head is between the numbers of the sprite above it.
Bigger than Bob.
Yeah. Well, it does do twice the damage.
If I replace the natural select, which I think is incorrect because you can cash in the crypto into Brome and then you can nat select the Windcliff Analyst because now you have no real way of dealing with it.
Yeah, if the Windcliff Alarmist had died, then this Protector would have turned into a tiny creature.
I guess it's a bit of an element of surprise here for Poncho because Windcliff Alarmist and Protectors are not common cards. So maybe maybe some players aren't aware of how the mechanic goes.
They just see a 2/2 that summons a gigantic Provoke. Lionar things.
Well, Poncho can do the exact same thing once more.
Yep.
Cash in the 3/1 here and just create another Protector.
And then even has leftover mana for a BBS. Maybe is considering some sort of Celebrant Warblade turn, but doesn't have enough mana to really take that far.
Well, he could do that.
And then BBS as well, and then get a 2/3 Provoke. I mean, that's pretty
But-
good.
But Poncho also needs to be aware that the opponent runs 3 plasmas.
Yeah.
So establishing that board is plasma fodder.
That board would just die instantly. The Windcliff Alarmist at least will leave behind one more Alarmist.
Your opponent used a Rebuke last turn, so forcing the opponent to use more resources isn't awful either.
I don't understand this play. Getting a Conscript instead of a Crestfallen.
I think it's to play around that select because he can't trade into the Crestfallen, which would provoke him, and then that select the 2/2 because now the 1/2 is weakest on the board.
Yeah, yeah. His opponent does have 3 of them.
And that's also Poncho's last Protector, so if he finds an alarmist, it's a dead draw from now on. But if fortunately for AWX, he can Plasma Storm, which means he's only left with a 2/2.
Yep, and then you can take that down, and then he just has to worry about his hit points. Instead, just chunking it down as if it was just a big minion, and this alarmist didn't have any text.
Yeah. And Poncho gets an easy lethal here with Holy Immolation.
Yep.
So the surprise factor of Windcliff Alarmist
Yeah.
won the game 3 here.
Yeah.
AWX Angel being a little too inexperienced for the card and not just knowing how you deal with it.
Poncho Mango's opponents for the next round are going to have to take notes. This card is really strong, and you can dismantle the two-piece combo by going for the little one, which transforms the big one back into another little one, which will take out the taunt, takes out the buffs.
So Kitakaka would have to take note.
Yeah.
Voth finds himself slain before he even reaches Macantro mana.
EWX Angel starting strong, but Poncho Mango with the 2-win recovery to take the series in advance. Congratulations. Good to see more Poncho.
In the last matchup, it looks quite interesting.
Yeah, we've got more Voth. We have some really funky stuff going on, so don't expect a similar Voth, because we got Brutality. We got Flaming Stampede, which is kind of like a poor man's Spiral technique, but maybe it's a pinch sweeper, or it's kind of like an Obliterate. We got everybody's favorite, the Groovy Lion.
Rust Crawlers, this is an interesting list. I actually wanted to play Grove Lions in the last team war, but my team didn't let me.
They're so cool. It's a 5/5 that I think it hands off Force Field to your general. Really nice.
Yes. So there are some artifact hate in here, as I said, Rust Crawler and Scorn.
Yeah, that is perfect. Because Mushibango.
Despite that, one notable omission from Magmarbot's deck is that there is no Flash Reincarnation, so you can't flash in anyone. Or something like a Mage one. But I still absolutely adore Magmarbot's deck.
Yeah, he's not going to get hit too hard from the Mage Sworn because, as you said, he cut all the Flash Reincarnations. And he's just got a bunch of expensive stuff. Doesn't have any natural selects, but is going to take care of threats with EMPs. And the Rust Crawlers are really necessary in this matchup because, as you see on Mushy Mango's list, there are so many artifacts. We have a Spine Cleaver to make a that steals a copy of something. No wait, that's Thunderclap. I think Spine Cleaver makes
Bloodfire
Totems. Yeah, it deals damage per turn and can't really be dealt with. But usually the strat is you get the Staff of Yakir for damage bump, you get the Wildfire Ankh for blast, and then you can just go to town. And the real game plan with Mushy Mango here, Notion of Starless Eternities. So if Mushy Mango makes it to the opposite end of the board with something equipped, then that finishes the trial. And then it's just
It really is a very, very all-in deck from Mushy Mango. A lot of artifacts and a lot of nose stuff, so there's no Golem Fleet, so...
Yeah, so instead of seeing Metallurgist and Dreamweaver to refill, we're going to be seeing a Dragonlark and going to be stealing its keywords with Neuralink, and then you can fly to the opposite end to immediately do the quest.
You can also take Windstriker's keyword, because that also has flying.
Yeah, and that also hands off an artifact, so it does double work.
Also, Prophet of the White Palm. It might be the only player in the tournament from Prophet of the White Palm, which denies spell damage for the next turn.
Yep. It doesn't work on stuff like Decimus, but it will absolutely be amazing against the Songhai, which can't do anything about your artifacts for a turn.
So Kitakaka would not have liked seeing Prophet of the White Palm.
Interesting choice here with Superior Mirage. Can make 3 copies of an enemy minion. It's a really good counter to Macanta Warbeast because you just get 12 damage out of nowhere.
Exactly. Also, you get a shout out to Autarch's Gifts, which is really cool.
It's so weird.
Post the trial.
Yeah, it. I think it gives you 3 artifacts. Or 2?
It gives you two. It gives you 2 random.
Okay. So it's kind of like a
Mm.
double Grincher hit, except you don't get a discount. Pretty expensive, but
It was generally considered to be a garbage card for a long time, and then they made Nose, and then it was a tech card in Nose.
yeah, might be able to see it out once you have that much mana. Then, hey, who knows what kind of treasure box options you get.
But this looks like a very, very interesting and uncertain matchup heading into it.
Yeah, both these guys are gonna have really hard-hitting generals. Magmar versus Mushy Magma. Ready to go into game number 1.
I am ready.
Alright, we are going in 3, 2, 1, paste. Mushy Mango versus Magmar Bot. And these guys have a bunch of banners for their respective factions. Excellent.
See Mashimago finding his flyer, but not his
Not the Neuralink. Pretty typical first turn for Sag Artifact. Take a step out, put on a thing. And then,
Yeah.
as your opponent to this kind of style, you want to put stuff in Sag's face so she can't just keep moving to the finish line and make it hard for her. Although, it's pretty hard to stop her, because she can just teleport if she wants, or fly.
You also see the Superior Mirage being teched in here against Vaunt, which may, as you say, create 3 Mecators.
Yeah, that seems like the best use for it. Wishimango teching to Kamehameha.
A bit of a clunky hand here.
Yeah, this is so high cost. Doesn't fit together with itself. The Time Maelstrom is nice for second blasts, but doesn't need to be here. No
Lightning
plays.
Pass turn 2 with an all too heavy hand.
Yeah.
But it's
Couldn't even fix it by picking up these mana tiles.
it's 5 more damage.
Yeah, these blasts are huge.
But 3 artifacts.
Yeah,
He
check this out.
gets an easy EMP.
Yep. Some EMP value.
That's a 3 for 1.
And turning off flying is nice, because Neuralink is going to require this Dragon Lark. Thunderclap not so great, because there's no targets, but it is the only artifact in hand. Maybe he wants to make a couple EMPs. Oh no, just equips anything. Probably just gonna dirtle around in the back line until flight becomes an option.
Yeah, he wants to find a Neuralink and decides to take a cautious turn and just equip the Operator. Whereas Magmar Bot now has a pretty good option here in just playing a Mage Mark, which shuts off at least Neuralink.
Yeah. Which Mango would have to resort to walking and then maybe finding a Silhouette Tracer.
Yeah, Neuralink Aurora's Tears and Metal Melt if you run solo modes, it shuts off.
And there's not a lot for clean removal. It would have to get hit by a Sand Swirl or something.
Magmar Bot would position it so far back, in fact.
Yeah.
Sandstorm. But there is Blood of Eris in Mush.
Okay, Blood of Air would be a really good response. Gonna have to replace to find it. Doesn't find it.
Yeah, and he's kind of stuck here with many samey cards.
Yeah, maybe making a copy of the Wild Tar, taking a giant hit is worth it.
I think what you do here is you equip the Obdurator, and then you Thunderclap, and then you BBS, and you kill the EMP, and you create an EMP. of your own.
Ooh,
I
EMP,
think-
yeah. Oh no. He's doing my idea. Your idea sounded way better. Because the pig is still going to hit for 5. EMP hitting for 7 is not that much different, and you're left with a way bigger minion. Instead, opting to just keep the Thunderclap in hand for now.
But now Magmar Bot is left with 8 mana, and he can do a Saurian finale.
Yeah, this is basically Magmar's ultimate.
And he's got to put him a little bit out of position, but I still think you do it.
Yeah, 2 steps down with your general isn't exactly ideal, but it's fine. Full heal is pretty nice, and getting more than double attack is where it's at.
Yeah, you also start increasing your own attack, as Mage 1 denies your own EBS.
Yeah, that's basically the only way then.
And you also have another Saurian finality, so you're not hard pressed to find another.
Yep. You probably just keep it as a big heal spell and pop it as soon as you get some value off that.
Might even replace the Earth Sphere.
Earth
here if
Sphere.
you're
Yeah.
full.
Way too similar functionality. Man, he's calculating, could there be a better turn than just do the thing? Like, in theory, there's Lava Slasher and EMP takes a hit on Sag, but that doesn't do a lot.
No, I think casting Saurian finality and then start replacing for. I think it was running 2 EMPs.
He's got 3, or AW.
Oh yeah, I had 3 in the deck, but decides not to cast finality. Takes 5 like that. That's gotta feel
Oof.
bad.
Flying pretty close to the sun, confident you just heal it all back up.
He is actually only 1 point off lethal Mushimango because he could attack and then he could Maelstrom for 10 and then 11 with the thing. So he was so close off to lethal. But Mushimango.
Finally finds a Silhouette Tracer.
Yeah, that was also a slight misplay because he forgot to move for attack.
Yeah.
Actually, on the other side.
Could have already been there.
But for Magmar Bot, I think for Magmar Bot, the play here is the Saurian finality.
Yep, this is the time, because otherwise next turn Mushimango takes 2 steps to the right, finishes the quest. How about Stun Lock into delete your mana, into full heal, into this giant buff? Oof.
This is also fine. And then you send the EMP into the 2/6 to keep it from trading into the 4/1.
Yeah. Keeps your damage front and center. Silhouette Tracer, probably trade with that anyway if we could.
Yeah, and then you gotten a lot of damage right now, and goes to the Rust Crawler as well.
Hmm.
And the Mushimango player has no real way he can.
Yeah.
Actually forced, I think, to bounce the Slasher.
Yeah, it's kind of a miserable play, but it stops 4 damage, which is necessary to stay alive. It's actually a pretty decent play, because with a full hand, the Lava Slasher got destroyed. Usually it just reactivates it, so to speak, so it can come down again with full health and take another slash.
So you can trade into the Sage player and then play Scorn to get rid of
The artifacts.
So we take 6 damage from that.
Yeah.
Go to 16, but I think that's worth it.
Yeah, to take out all 3 of these.
Because you put the Sage player to 5 if you do that.
Which is just 1 more hit for lethal.
Exactly. And I don't think that the Sage player was playing the spell. No. So any attack buff is permanent once more. Decides not to do. Decides to. I guess that's fine. Get the tempo from the Rust Crawler. You could have held on to the Rust Crawler in case he equipped an artifact, but
Yeah, puts it down right away to also serve as a blocker. To that end, Mushimango might want to Sand Swirl it away. But then dies to the Scorn? Oof.
I don't think
There's just no
there's.
out.
Yeah, there's not a great positioning here for Mushimango.
Because if you bounce the Scorn, comes down for one more point, and then one attack, that's lethal. The Sand Swirl can't really do anything from where it's positioned.
You gotta find a way to bounce the 4/4 and kill the 2/3 with his Sand Swirl, while body blocking his general with his new Sand Swirl. But I don't think there's a play where that's possible.
Yeah, because there's two squares that need to be blocked, and can't block them both.
And this is just lethal on board for Magmar Box, doesn't need to think when making this play. You can just do a standard Voth play, just hit. And Mushimango recognizes defeat in game 1.
Magmar Bot taking the first game against Mushimango. Let's see if this Mango can do the same thing that the other Mango did. That's going to be necessary to stay in this.
Were you in this tournament? I don't remember. No, you were. You were in the last tournament, right? But not in this one.
Oh, it wasn't all of them.
Oh yeah, you were.
Yeah.
You were against. I thought so. You beat Helgen and then you played.
Yeah, yeah. We got more of me coming up.
That's good to know.
Don't think we'll get to my game tonight, though. I might cash it in after the series because it is late. But hey, do you want to go into game number 2? Magmar Bot versus Mushimango.
Yes.
The one and only Sag versus a lot of Voth. Let's go into it. 3, 2, 1, paste.
And now it's Voth's turn to player 1. Finds a turn 1 Rust Crawler, but I don't think you play it here.
Yeah, most of the time a turn 1 2-drop like this is the perfect thing that you need, but there's no 4-drops that are relevant to ramp 2, and the opening gambit is so good in the matchup that you want it to be destroying these Wildfire Honks. So he might just hard pass.
I replace the Earth Sphere maybe?
Yep.
And
Yeah, for sure.
just try to find.
Or I guess a Saurian Finale, because he's got 2 of them. So the single step forward, a pretty rare play, but sets him up to get the Mana Spring if nothing happens.
Yeah, it means that he can't take. It means that the Voth player can't take the mana tile and hit at the same time.
Yeah, and anything that gets dropped here is just setting up to be double hit with a blast, so it's kind of a trap.
But Magmar Bot has the Rust Crawler and can even afford to play the Wild Tar this turn.
Yeah. Grab 2
while
mana.
keeping the Golem Metallurgist safe and sound.
Yeah, pretty strong start. Perfect answer. I probably would have put the Rust Crawler diagonally towards Saj, just above the pig. Or above and to the right of it. But keeps it nearby to possibly grab this Mana Spring.
You might feel comfortable because he has a second Rust Crawler. So if Mushimango equips an artifact, then that also is getting pinged off.
Yeah. It could potentially just be dropped on the Mana Spring even. Not,
And
we
it should
wouldn't do
also-
anything, but...
And it should also be noted that the Silhouette Tracer doesn't really give him a clean teleport.
Yeah, 3 spaces is not enough. Gonna do it anyway, because that's a lot of progress towards the finish.
So the bot player now. Probably, I think I would pitch the Earth Sphere here. You're so high in health.
Yeah, heal for 2, no thanks. I kind of wonder if the flying package, the Skylarks and the Neuralink were removed. Not seeing those cards so far from Wishimango.
I think you pretty much have to run them considering how you built your deck with so few minions and no golems and so
Yeah.
on. So I think you pretty much you're hard pressed to run it.
You need more options for mobility at any cost. Yeah.
So Wishimango did beat Leo de Tor in the first round. Was that when he dealt like 25 damage in one round?
Maybe? I forgot the details on that one. Gonna have to check the tape.
Decides to just round Wishimango to the best of his abilities.
Yup.
He will not play around another Silhouette Tracer, but the staunch player is hard pressed to contest the board.
Yeah.
Well, he does make the slight mistake in playing into Zephyr. So Zephyr can deal.
Ooh, Frenzy, perfect. This is the exact keyword that Saj needs, and here's a sad face. Magmar getting absolutely shredded.
Well, it's not the complete end of his board. He gets to stick the Celotar, and he still has the Rust Crawler.
Yep.
So maybe you toss the Duke here, because right now Earthsphere doesn't look like the worst play.
Yeah, Rebuke isn't doing a whole lot. And Notion of Starless Attorney, when it does hit the battlefield, it's only a 3-3. So minion removal might not be really relevant here.
Definitely did buff Nose up to 5/5, I think.
It's so tiny. It might as well be Wanderer size. At least, what's it's even below that.
It was a 5 mana card when it was released. And they changed it to 6.
Unnerfs might be kind of an interesting vector of balance to explore. If there's any cards that may have been over-nerfed by CPG back in the day.
Well, Nose is definitely.
It's got to be better
one.
than Oak and the Nematon, though, right? I've been having the hardest time getting that trial to work.
I mean, they're very matchup.
Yeah, that's true.
Decides to cash in on the damage, which I'm not too sure about. I guess you put the Wishimango player low, but you don't have the greatest hand in building board.
Yeah. Wishimango doesn't have Frenzy for just this turn, but does have a lot of some options here. Thunderclap stealing a minion, namely, maybe 2 minions with Time Maelstrom. Instead opts to get the Iris Barrier to save a little bit of health. Or actually no, it also has a Thunderclap and yeah, now has a Silithar.
Yeah, I think if you're the Magmar player here, you're not in a good position. I think you're gonna have to
Fade away,
go.
get the EMP.
I was wondering if he was playing Drogons actually, who's he gonna face, but there's no Drogons in his list.
No, that's the Modius special. Yeah, I think EMP does solve a lot, but it's a turn too slow.
I think you just Plasma Storm here. You cash in the 2/1 into space, Plasma, and you kill the egg.
Yeah.
Or you don't care, you can just hit face. That's also fine. Block the path.
Yeah, that's like Voth's tried and true strategy. You just keep hitting.
Because you put the opponent to 7.
Boom. And then hits with the
Those
Rust
look like-
Crawler, and Voth doesn't care that enemy one gets spawned, because boom.
Oh, that actually works on counterattacks.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Whenever it destroys a minion.
So right now there's an argument for Mushy Mango to move 2 steps to the right here. Body block with the Scimitar and equip 2 artifacts from Aurora's team.
Yeah. Because this will just equip them straight up.
Gets a Spine Cleaver and a Staff.
So the staff is a pretty low roll, but the Spine Cleaver is going to be pretty nice. Of course, EMP can just annihilate it.
Yeah, you straight into the Scimitar and then you EP to get rid of the artifacts. And no Blood of Air seen from Mushy Mango yet. Wonder if that's in the stack.
It might have even been cut because the general is such a high threat.
You're at this point you have to make the sad balancing it.
No, but yeah, I mean, it's a 7/7 body, 7 hit points left. Here's your extra play of Dispel All. Kind of a necessary play.
You also see no War Beasts from Magmar Bot, which one makes me wonder if he cut it for the sake of Superior Mirage.
It would be an instant lethal if you had it, though, because it'd be able to clear the reader and clear the way for a BBS hit.
Oh yeah.
I would expect him to be replacing like mad to find it, but instead just settles with a Mage Sworn.
And decides to cut off the flying spell, so there's no way the Mushy Mango player can teleport to the other side of the field. And knowing that Magmar Bot has an additional EP in hand, this is looking pretty dire for Mushy Mango.
Yeah, equips a couple artifacts, knowing that his opponent is just going to be able to immediately crack them all. Has a cool play with throwing down a bunch of Mage Sworns, but at the end of the day, they're just 3/8.
He has lethal as it stands with Blistering Scorn.
Scorn to finish it up.
So that's the end of Sage's tournament run.
Yeah, it was really nice to see a Vitruvian player get in and a Sage at that, which was definitely the rarest of the 3. But Magmar Bot is going to be going
Was
on.
the only tribute player, wasn't it? In the
Yeah,
tournament.
let's have a quick look at the bracket, and that's it. 1 Vitruvian, 1 Vanar. We had 4 Songhai and 4 Abyssian. And the most populous would be the 6 Linar and 7 Magmar. Of
So
course.
there's no Abyssian or Vanar left. Only 3 factions.
Oh, don't worry, we got me. I will be facing Agent
true.
Cypher at the bottom half of the bracket. But yeah, I'll need to do an upgrade or an update on this graphic to show that Kitikaka has advanced 2-1 and will be facing off against Poncho Mango, who also won 2-1. And then the other game we saw was Magmarbot getting a win. He'll be playing the winner of Left Hook versus Rohinjol. Yeah, and thanks again, Stoic Rooster, for jumping on to help cast a couple games. It was some fun stuff.
No problem.
Alright, let's call it a wrap. GG's and good night, everybody. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.